chosen family to Costa Rica. Strength meets spirit, and the youngest hearts rise against the heaviest steel. Today, the juniors and sub-juniors step forward. Not just to lift the bar, but to lift the limits of what the past dictated. Bar is loaded. Deep breath, a steady gaze, and with every attempt, a story is written. Cheer them on, for every lift is more than weight. It is courage in motion. Now, a chance at history for the next lifter. As they attempt to lift more than any junior has ever done, let's raise our voices, for this is power, this is passion, this is the future. As the final bar returns to the ground, we salute these young warriors of strength. Each lift, a promise, each effort, a victory. Thank you, Costa Rica, for the energy, the spirit, and the pura vida that makes these days unforgettable.
Good afternoon and welcome everybody to the 2025 IPF World Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships here in San Jose, Costa Rica. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Briar Lynch. Good evening, Briar.
Good evening. How are we doing?
I'm doing very well, and I'm extremely excited for this session we have this evening. It's the 63 kilo junior ladies, and to follow a pretty exciting sub-junior session there, we saw some excellent lifting from a Kiwi lifter.
Yeah, I think we've gone away with a couple of world records there, the squat and the deadlift. Very impressive from our young lifter.
Absolutely, and if you liked that, the juniors are not going to disappoint. We have a really exciting battle in the 63s. You can see here we have two flights of 63s. This first flight of 9, and then we will have another flight to follow. It's going to be a really tight match, so do stick around to see how that unfolds. First, we're going to see the squats of this first flight, and you can see here the running order all the way up to 152.5. I think we're in for a treat.
Yeah, I think so too. That's a good range of openers there from the B flight, and as you mentioned, we haven't even had a look at the A flight yet. I'm sure there'll be some good battles.
And we count into our first lifter of the session, Ayuka Suzuki from Japan.
From Japan with 85 kilos on the bar. She's been competing for 1 year, and her current squat PB is listed at 100 kilos.
Lovely deep opener there for Suzuki.
Yeah, that looked like a nice, comfortable opener for her there. Just waiting on the lights.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. And it can be nerve-wracking coming out for your opening attempt anyway, let alone knowing you're the first one out. So she handled that pressure very well.
Absolutely. I think first squat nerves get to even the most experienced lifters. We've now got Anya O'Neill from Ireland with 120 kilos on the bar.
O'Neill with a squat PB of 140 kilos. Nice conservative opener, that's what we like to see.
And I think that moved how an opener should.
And a good lift, yeah, and about how you'd expect 20 kilos under somebody's personal best to move.
Coming out now, we've got a Costa Rican lifter, Maria Paula Morales Hernandez, with 120 kilos on the bar. Of course, our Costa Rican lifters, lots of support here because they are in their home.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see Costa Rica send a full team. I don't think we've ever seen the likes of that before. So on home soil, lots of support, and they've been doing excellently so far.
Yeah, 3 white lights there, so she's on the board with her first squat.
A little bit of work, but a lot of lifters like opening a little close to their max and then edging there slowly.
Yeah, and definitely pushing the limits as well when it comes to their third. We've now got Yanelis Rivera from Puerto Rico, 130 kilos on the bar.
A lot of Puerto Rican support in the crowd today as well.
Yeah, as we've mentioned before, we've got a lot of Central American and South American teams here, which is awesome because they do have lots of friends and family to support them. Obviously, geographically, it is easier for them.
And that was a lovely opener there for Rivera. 3 white lights, a good lift. Really zero resistance with that bar.
It moved like it was empty.
The bar is loaded.
The bar is loaded now for our Belgian lifter, Yuli de Preta, with 135 kilos on the bar.
Just 2.5 kilos below Yuli's personal best. Again, a very comfortable opener. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, that looked very smooth considering how close it was listed to her current PB. A nice depth there, as you can see on the replay. Our next lifter out is from Chile, Antonia Belén Olave Vega, with 140 kilos on the bar.
Has been competing for less than 1 year and fresh out of the sub-junior category at 19 years old. Yeah, I was a little bit worried about the depth, but hesitant to say so. We'll have a look at that in the replay. Bearing in mind, of course, this is the side that she got that white from.
Yeah, I was concerned too, but like you said, we're on the different side.
And even on that side, I'm afraid it looks somewhat on the line to me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a case could be argued either way. We now have a New Zealand lifter, Martha Tai, with 142.5 kilos on the bar. That looks like a pretty smooth opener from Martha. She's got 3 white lights there.
And it feels it too as well with the double thumbs up there.
It is Martha's first international, so she is really looking to just enjoy the day and build on her PB.
And I think that's important. I think there are 2 approaches mentally that newer lifters can come in. It's, extreme nerves because it's your first time, or extreme excitement because of that.
Absolutely. I was actually in the warm-up room with Martha until about 10 minutes ago. She's very nervous, but it's coming across as excited nerves, so that's really lovely. Now we've got Andrea Valdez from Panama with 145 kilos on the bar.
Yeah, just an error on the screen there. She's from Panama, not from New Zealand.
Yeah.
The clock is running down and we're yet to see Valdez come out. You see 30 seconds left to get that squat command. And perhaps a mistimed warm-up or not knowing. There she is.
She does have 15 seconds left, which would be cutting it a bit fine, but we have seen stranger things.
And with 2 seconds to go, cutting it extremely fine. And she's on the board. Certainly will be there waiting with plenty of time for her second, I imagine.
Yes, definitely. That gave a few people a heart attack, I imagine.
When you say a few people, Briar, you mean yourself?
I do mean myself.
Briar was not looking during that.
We now have Nancy Lopez from Mexico with 152.5, and the Mexican team has been out in force with all sorts of musical instruments in the crowd.
Yeah, an orchestra of fans. Solid opening attempt for Lopez, and 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, she seems happy with that, and so do her fans.
Yeah, an original score to accompany her lifts.
Our Mexican lifter there was our last lifter in that first round of squats. So we'll be moving on to second attempts now. Everyone has posted a squat so far, except for Olive Vega from Chile. So this is Ayuka Suzuki from Japan coming out for a second with 95 kilos on the bar, a 10 kilo jump up.
$10 kilos, a pretty average jump, I would say, in the 63 kilo class we expect to see.
Yeah, definitely in the squat events. A little bit of work there, but I don't think that was unreasonable for a second, and she gets the 3 white lights. Coming out now is Maria Paula Morales Fernandez from Costa Rica with 127.5 kilos on the bar, a 7.5 kilo jump up.
Yeah, already this would extend her personal best of 122.5 kilos here by 5. Yeah, and her hips just shoot up out of the hole, and I'm a little concerned that even if she had fought that up, the depth perhaps was a little high.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it on the replay here, exactly what happened. The depth was a bit questionable as well, so maybe she can come back and sink that and just keep her hips in line a little bit more for her third. We'll have to see. Out now is Anya O'Neill from Ireland, 130 kilos on the bar and a 10 kilo jump up from her opener.
A little slow out the hole, but a very powerful squat getting through that point.
Yeah, very strong on the way up there. And very deep too. Anya's not leaving anything to chance with those side referees. Coming out now, we've got Julie De Preta from Belgium with 140 kilos on the bar. Just a 5 kilo jump up from her opening attempt.
To 1, a good lift there. Just gets a depth call from that right hand side referee, so we'll watch that again in the replay, but in terms of difficulty, right about where you would want to be on that second.
Yeah. And that is the side that got the white light, and I'd have to agree with that left hand side referee there. I mean, some lifters do squat slightly deeper on one side just due to their leverages, Out now we've got Yanelis Rivera from Puerto Rico, 142.5 kilos on the bar.
Wow, and it was not any harder. Let's wait for the lights.
Yeah, she did get a read from the side referee, from the side that we are sitting on, and I'm afraid that in real time I would have called that. However, this replay, I think it looks fine on the replay, so maybe another wonky lifter there.
Yeah, absolutely, and a great job that we have that replay. As you said, looks a lot better in it, and still plenty left to go into her third.
Absolutely. Here's Martha Tai from New Zealand, 150 kilos on the bar, a 7.5 kilo jump up, and just 2.5 kilos under her listed squat PB.
Yeah, getting very close to that listed squat PB, and like you said, it's her first international. Her last year as a junior, so hopefully has a great day, picks up some PBs today. Wow, a great job getting through that middle sticking point.
Yeah, definitely slowed down a lot there, and she managed to grind through it. So I do wonder what the New Zealand coaching team are going to pick for her third.
It might be hard to convince them to give her a PB rather than match it after a sticking point like that.
Yeah, and I also wonder whether having a good day might be
More
the
important?
priority rather than rather than PBs for Martha. Out now we've got Antonia Belén Oliva Vega from Chile, 150 kilos on the bar. She did miss her opener, which was 140 kilos, and has chosen to jump up 10 kilos regardless, which obviously she is in her rights to do.
It can be a little risky, but that definitely looked deeper than her opener. Let's see if it was deep enough.
Oh, 2-1, I think from the opposite side there as well.
Yeah, so we'll actually be able to see that angle here in the replay, but two referees happy enough with it. And I'd say it's about the same as her opener, but I think it's in a certain position where perhaps the jury won't get involved if it was a bad lift, but also won't get involved if it's a good lift because it's just so on that line.
Yeah. It's good because the jury is not undermining the calls of the referees in the chairs. Yeah, and they shouldn't be overturning anything except if it's egregious anyway. We now have Andrea Valdez from Panama, 152.5 kilos on the bar.
And 2-1, a good lift. A depth call from the centre referee tends to be where it's a little bit more difficult to tell. Have a see here in the replay. And I think the referee just came over to say she pressed the red by accident, so it was 3 white lights.
Yeah, and I mean, as a referee, that does happen. Our Mexican lifter out again, as you may be able to hear and see the crowd on your screen now. Nancy Lopez, 162.5 kilos. There's definitely a kazoo somewhere in the crowd.
There are many instruments in places in the crowd. And she does very well to embrace the joy and support and then focus up. And lifted up by the voices of her family and friends.
There they are. We're interested to see how they pick up as the day goes on as well. We are now moving on to the third round of squats here for this first flight. As you mentioned before, there is an A flight coming up, and so those are the lifters with the higher nominated totals. We will be starting with Ayuka Suzuki from Japan with 105 kilos on the bar. Should she get this, this will be a 5 kilo PB for her.
Little tentative under the bar, but managed to pull her focus in. Looking for a personal best, like you said, on the international stage.
Oh, and cheered on by fans of Japan, and she manages to stand it up. What did the refs say? 3 whites, a new PB for Suzuki.
Yeah, and a really well called attempt as well. She picks up a personal best. It was definitely work, but didn't absolutely drain the tank.
No, she still has gas left for bench and deadlifts, and I think that was a really good selection from the Japanese coaching team there. We now have Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica, 127.5 on the bar. This is a retake of her second attempt, which I believe she failed on depth, so she'll just have to be slightly more convincing there for those side referees. Was it depth?
I'm struggling to recall here whether it was depth or just a bit of a strength issue. I think she just failed the lift, if I recall correctly, and we worried about the depth anyway.
Oh, yes, that was it. Oh, and the same thing happened again. Yeah, unfortunately not quite there today for Maria, but she is still young. She can come back and get that in future championships. Bar is loaded now for Anya O'Neill from Ireland with 135 kilos on the bar. It is 5 kilos below her current listed personal best, so it shouldn't be unusual for her to have this weight on her back.
Wow, that is a great fight.
There she goes.
And there were a couple times during that I was worried that it would dip, but kept it moving up. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, that was an RPE 10 if I ever saw one.
10.5 even.
Yeah.
The question mark was there.
We now have Julie de Preta from Belgium, 142.5. We do seem to have quite a large Belgian contingent in the audience. This will be a 2.5 kilo squat PB if she gets it. And it was just a 2.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt as well.
Yeah, and she's been moving the squats pretty confidently so far. Yeah, and I thought 2.5 seemed a bit conservative, but just looking to pick up a personal best and not empty the tank too much.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously as well with B-flight lifters, it's hard for them to see what the rest of the field will do later on, so they're just looking to have the best day that they possibly can, as opposed to racing for medals and things. We now have our Costa Rican lifter, Yanelis Rivera, 152.5 kilos on the bar. A big 10 kilo jump up from her second attempt.
Yeah, and that second attempt really justified it. It was pretty effortless. And even that, I would think it looked like a second.
Yeah, more so than a third. I mean, there was a little bit of effort there, but nothing too strenuous. Maybe she is saving up for something big come deadlift.
Or maybe she just doesn't even know where that ceiling is herself.
Maybe. The bar is loaded now for Martha Tai of New Zealand, 152.5 kilos on the bar. Yep, Team New Zealand taking that conservative 2.5 kilo jump. Martha did hit the brakes a little bit on the way up from her second, so I'm hoping she can push through for this third.
I certainly think that she could push through it if she avoids that sticking point a little bit. It seems like she was knocked out of position a bit, but it's definitely the right decision for Team New Zealand. Wow, so close.
Oh, unfortunately, yeah, not quite there for Martha. She did give it a good crack, though.
Yeah, and spirits are still high. You see the bar starts to roll up her neck and she's still fighting it, but just such a difficult position to push from.
Absolutely. When you lose that position, it is hard to come back from it. Thank goodness the spotters were there, though. They've been doing a brilliant job all week so far. Next up, we've got Antonia Belén Oliveira from Chile, 155 kilos on the bar.
This would be a 5 kilo personal best for Vega. Another great fight there. And a perfect cool. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, she looks very happy with that, as she should be. It did move like personal best and a third attempt, I would say.
Yeah, but absolutely no breakdown of form. Kept the bar moving smoothly the entire time, even though it slowed down considerably.
Yeah, absolutely. Now got Andrea Valdez from Panama, 160 kilos on the bar, 7.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt. Should she get this will be an equal PB for her.
A great fight. I want to wait for the lights. I'm a little worried about that depth.
Yeah, and that is the side that we can see it from where we're sitting, Amelia. So this is the opposite side here that you can see on the replay.
And listen, I'd rather be proved wrong than right. And it looks a lot better on that replay than it did live.
Yeah, it does. And the jury seems quite happy with it. As you can hear from the instruments in the crowd, it is our Mexican lifter, Nancy Lopez, coming out for 167.5 kilos. 5 kilo jump up from her second attempt. And our last lifter of this flight before we move on to the A flight.
Wow, and she keeps fighting through it, and how can't she with all of that support?
Wow. That did not stop once. It slowed down, but it did not stop.
And there you can see the Lopez support crew, the support that got her through that grind. She did not want to let them down, and she didn't.
Absolutely not.
And the results of that first flight, we can see Lopez leading with 167.5, followed by Valdez and Vega from Chile. But that is subject to change as we head into the A flight now, and the battle begins. And the current junior record holder is in this flight. Natalie Hunter has the record at 195.5, but the ex-open deadlift record holder, Betty Iborra, will be her competition today. So a great fight between the two of them. And here we go. Astrid Edfersson from Sweden, 142.5 kilos. Nice and easy opening attempt, a good lift.
Yeah, that moved really quickly.
The bar is loaded.
Veronique Dor from Canada, 142.5 kilos. Solid opening attempt.
Yeah, absolutely. It was very smooth.
Ooh.
However, there do seem to be 2 infractions there. The right side referee called her for depth, and the centre referee...
Yeah, she said it for just skipping the command. I think it must have been the start command, the squat command there.
Yeah, it's difficult to see on the replay because obviously the replay doesn't have sound. She can come back and get that though.
Sorry, it wasn't skipping punt. It was opening her hands during the squat.
Interesting. Okay, of course, the lifters do have to hold on to the bar throughout the entire movement.
Hannah Rush from Australia, 145 kilos. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
We now have Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic, opening 10 kilos below her personal best here with 147.5. And extremely comfortable, plenty left in the tank. Can I expect to see a new personal best there for her today?
Absolutely, she's got room to grow on it for sure.
And I'd like to say it is packed in here. It's not just standing room only. People are sat all around in any space they can find. This is going to be such an exciting flight. Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, 150 kilos. It's very strong. I want to see the lights. Yeah, I think you and I were a little hesitant to call that. It looked high to me.
Yeah, it did, unfortunately. We'll see on the replay, but I don't think there was any question there. And getting called for depth from the centre referee as well is usually an indicator of something quite noticeable.
Yeah, so strength clearly no issue. Just going to have to squat deeper on that second if she wants to post a squat. Ida Yanez from Slovenia, 152.5, has a personal best of 166.5. Strong looking squat. Let's look for the lights.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift, and she's on the board.
Yeah, very solid opening attempt for Yanez.
The bar is loaded.
Elise Idora from the Netherlands, the first of 2 Dutch athletes to come out. 155 on the bar. I bet the Dutch athletes were very happy when those orange knee sleeves came out.
Absolutely, it just completes that outfit perfectly.
Ooh, hit the hole extremely hard. She would have known what went wrong there and can correct it, but yeah, she gets blues from the side referees there, Briar. If you could shine a light on that for us.
Yeah, blues in squat can be for a lack of lockout or a double movement, but I think she bounced a little bit in the hole there. The jury is having a look at it. I'm not sure it was as noticeable on the replay as I would have said it was in real time.
Yeah, and the jury agreed because they've overruled it to a good lift, and I was a little unsure what the blues were for, which was why I was hoping you'd shine a light on it, but I'm glad to see the jury were just as perplexed. Minerva Mañez Garcia from Spain, 157.5. Not unusual to see some good Spanish lifters up in the mix.
There's actually 2 of them in this flight alone with the Spanish lifters.
Yeah, again, I was hesitant to say anything because it just was too high. And we're seeing an alarming amount of lifters in this A flight not get that opening attempt in. And let's hope that doesn't continue for the next 3 lifters, because the next lifter up is in contention for the overall title. Betty Abora from the Netherlands. Her last year as a junior once held the open world record in the deadlifts. Her and Hunter, we're going back and forth until the end. We know that Hunter has a squat record in her, and Betty Abora a deadlift record in her. So let's see how this day moves on. 162.5 for Betty Abora from the Netherlands. Wow, and that was extremely comfortable, and that spells trouble for Team USA.
Yeah, absolutely. Betty's got so much room to grow there. The depth was comfortable, the speed was comfortable.
And she's had some trouble with her cut in the past, but cut a little early this time around, so managed to eat today, and her coach said that means her squats should feel great, and they look it.
Yeah, absolutely.
165 kilos on the bar for Elsa Prandi Marino from Spain. A very speedy opener. Yeah, again, and I was hesitant to say, and I think you can pick up at home maybe the pattern in when I'm not sure.
Absolutely, it is tough to make that call. And as a referee myself, I do kind of want to jump the gun a little bit from the commentary box, but I do agree with the refs in the chair there. That was quite high, and as you said, an alarming number of reds coming in from these first attempts for these A-flight lifters.
And let's hope the score can change with Natalie Hunter. Like I said, it's going to be a battle of a lifetime between herself and Betty Abora from the Netherlands. 180 kilos for her opening attempt, 15.5 below her current world junior squat record. You can tell that she has a squat world record with that. 3 white lights.
Yeah, really proficient there, leaving nothing to chance with that depth either.
And in very safe hands. You can see off to the side there, Marcellus Williams handling her.
I think we do have a number of very experienced coaches in this flight as well, so the battle in deadlifts, I imagine, will be quite full on.
Yeah, and that's what we love to see. You can see here Natalie Hunter already taking the squat gold. Lopez from the B group holding on currently to squat silver, and Abora with squat bronze. Subject to change now as we head through to the second and third round of squats. And the first of 4 lifters without their squat in on the board. Veronique Dor from Canada, 142.5. We were seeing a lot of depth issues. That looks a lot better. 3 white lights, a good lift. So we saw a mixture of things. We had a lifter who opened her hand up. We had a couple of depth calls. So they know exactly what they need to fix moving into their second attempt, and they're relatively easy fixes compared to what they could be.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think there were any strength issues there. And I do wonder perhaps with the depth issues that we've seen, maybe lifters are a bit nervous and they're cutting themselves a little bit short with those nerves.
Astrid Edvardsson now from Sweden, 150 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump, just shy of her personal best of 152.5.
A little bit of work there for Edvardsson.
Yeah, and 2-1, a good lift. Does get a depth call from the side referee, which we'll have a look at on the replay, but for her sake, I hope it remains because I'm not sure how much she has left in the tank after that. And the jury are looking at it very closely.
It does look like it'll stand. The jury have backed off from their screen.
Hannah Rush from Australia, 152.5, a 7.5 kilo jump for the Australian lifter.
I do love how she has tied in her laces to match the Australian kit with the green and gold.
A great fight there for Rush. 3 white lights, a good lift, and yeah, it's great to see some patriotic lifters, see them, you know, look good, feel good.
Look good, feel good. Yeah, absolutely. I love the matching bows, the matching nails, the hair glitter we've seen from a few lifters so far.
The bar is loaded.
Now, another lifter who is yet to get on the board, hopefully can follow suit from Dora. Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, gone up 5 kilos to 155 here. It was just, I believe, too high on her opener.
Yeah, perhaps she does need a little bit more weight on her back to get her to that depth, but we will have to see how she goes here.
And there we go, 3 white lights, a good lift. And the thing is, she's fighting for a bronze medal position, but she will be fighting up against Prandi Marino, who also didn't get her opening attempt in. So they're on somewhat level playing grounds as it stands now, but that's subject to change. We'll have to see how that goes for Prandi Marino. Nicole Marie Coco Croncosco from Dominican Republic, taking a 10 kilo jump to 157.5 to match her personal best, and 147.5 was really quite easy for her. I'd be surprised if this was a challenging second attempt. Yeah, and that's about what we expected. A great second attempt. 3 white lights for Coco Troncoso.
Yeah, that moved like a good second attempt should.
The bar is loaded.
Minerva Mañez Garcia from Spain. One of 2 lifters left to get a squat on the board after missing that opener. Needs to squat it deeper here. Again, it is just as easy, but is it deeper? 2-1, 2 referees think so. We'll see the side that gets that red in the replay, Brian. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, the jury are discussing it, and of course the jury are sitting on the same side as the light came from.
The bar is loaded.
They do seem to have let it slide though, so they are happy with it.
Ida Yanez is from Slovenia, 160 kilos, 7.5 kilo jump from her opener, 6.5 kilos of her best squat.
A bit of work there for our Slovenian lifter, but she does get the 3 white lights.
Yeah, and you know, it's unbeknownst to us whether she has a big grind in her or not. Like you said, 3 more white lights for Yanez. 160 kilos for Elisa Dora from the Netherlands.
She did, of course, receive 2 blue lights for her first attempt, just for a strange little bounce in the hole, but the jury did overturn it, and I think it was the right decision there.
Yeah, and she just hit the hole really hard on that opening attempt, so I hope to see her control the bar much more in the second, maybe even introduce a slight tempo.
There was definitely more control in that.
Yeah, still a little bit of a shake out of the hole, but the difference was so noticeable and much better. It's a good lift, 3 white lights. And you know the conversation she would have had with her coach coming off after that first attempt and the difference it clearly made.
The bar is loaded.
Now our final lifter without a squat on the board, Elsa Pandi Marino, looking to fight for podium overall, 167.5, so also has chosen to go up by 2.5 kilos. Again, weight not an issue, and Nora's depth this time round. 3 white lights, a good lift, and now all 11 lifters on the board.
And that is what we'd like to see, so hopefully those lifters who did struggle with their first attempts have shaken those nerves off and are ready to build their totals.
Now Betty Iborra from the Netherlands, 172.5, a 10 kilo jump and 5 kilos below her personal best. This will move her into squat silver heading into the third round, and her opener was one of the easier openers that we saw. You can see her saying a few words to herself there. Psyching herself up for a big lift, getting towards that max. Every kilo counts here in the battle for the crown and her last year as a junior. A little bit tougher, but exactly as you'd want a second to look. Still places to go there on a third.
Yeah, absolutely more gas in the tank there, and of course expert attempt selection will be coming from the Dutch coaching team.
And it will certainly be needed from both the Dutch and the American team. Natalie Hunter jumping 10 kilos to 190, 5.5 kilos off her own record. It makes sense to me. There's no need to jump to it straight away and make any sort of unnecessary risks when she can grab the chip on her third. 16 kilos, perhaps too much of a jump for her. 10, definitely a sweet spot to then jump 6.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want to risk the record purely for the sake of taking it on your second. To be fair, her opener did look very smooth and very comfortable.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 kilos is a good jump. It should be comfortable for her and leave her within reaching distance of that record should she want to take it. And it looks like she might want to extend that record of hers today. 3 white lights, a good lift. That concludes the second round of squats. Hunter leading with 190 kilos, followed by Iborra with 172.5 and Pandi Marino with 167.5. Now we know that Natalie gets a lot of ground in her squat, Betty in her deadlift, and they're very well matched on bench. So the jump will be interesting. 152.5 for Astrid Edvardsson from Sweden, a 2.5 kilo jump, which I feel like is the right decision here based on how her second moved.
Yeah, absolutely, and I do appreciate that the coaches are taking those smaller, more conservative jumps in the interest of their lifters' energy.
Yeah, and a little better this time, but I think that might have been a result of cutting depth.
Yes, unfortunately, I do agree with the 2 reds that did come up, but of course we are watching it from the side that the reds came from.
Plenty of lifters have uneven hips.
It does look slightly better on this side stream, but I'm not sure whether it's enough for the jury to overturn it. The Swedish coach is over at the jury table.
Yeah, and sent back, unfortunately. But I think if it was 2-1 in the other direction, the jury also wouldn't have touched it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Veronique Dor from Canada, 152.5. Got her opener on her second attempt after missing it, and now jumping 10 kilos.
Yeah, she's looking to build that total up. I'm hoping this moves as well as her second did.
Yeah, wants to hit depth and keep those hands open. I hope hands closed. 3 white lights, a good lift. Avoided opening those hands, met the depth.
The bar is loaded.
Australia's Hannah Rush now for her final attempt, 155, 2.5 kilo jump. And like you said before, glad to see some of the coaches utilizing that 2.5 kilo jump when the lifter's clearly getting near the limit. Yeah, and that was spot on.
Yeah, absolutely. The Australian coaching team this championships have been pretty on the money with their attempt selections. As much as that pains me to say it as a Kiwi.
We're unbiased here in the commentary booth. It's okay. You can strip your nationality for an hour.
Of course. We still invented Pavlova though.
Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, after missing her opener, going up on her second and getting it. Now 162.5 for her third attempt. Like you said, looking to fight for an overall bronze against Prandi Marino. Looking to add as many kilos as possible here that are within reach.
Unfortunately, not quite today.
Yeah, just a bit too heavy. Let's have a look at that again in the replay. Really, really tried her best.
The bar is
Ida Yanez now. Bar getting brushed down, just sometimes can get a little clogged up with chalk, and it starts to have the opposite effect when it's too clogged up with chalk and you can lose the knurling a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is such thing as too much chalk, as much as some lifters hate to hear it.
Ida Yanez from Slovenia now, 162.5. Again, utilizing that 2.5 kilo jump here.
Lafayette.
Yeah, I'm glad they put the 2.5 in as well. If she was able to get it, that would have been great, but just reached that upper limit today.
Yeah, but put everything she had into that, and there are 6 lifts left of the day.
The bar is loaded.
Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic. 165 for her final attempt for a new personal best. This is a 7.5 kilo jump from her second. A little bit more hyped up this time round for her third. Perhaps the nerves starting to kick in, but she's been handling them well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And she comes across as a really passionate lifter too.
That is a very well executed third attempt. And a new personal best, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Just 5 squats are remaining. First up, we have Alisadora from the Netherlands, 165, 5 kilo jump. It's 2.5 kilos shy of her personal best. Definitely cleaned up that squat on that second attempt, and hopefully she can keep that here in a third.
Absolutely, slowing down the descent definitely helped her. It just removed any question that the referees had about any infractions that might have been visible. Yeah, and that looked very similar to her second, 3 white lights.
170 kilos on the bar. Holding at Manis Garcia, followed by Brandi and Abura. The bar is loaded.
2 Spanish lifters back to back next before we see Abora and Hunter take their final attempts. Minerva Mañez Garcia, the first of the 2 lifters from Spain to squat, 170 to move her into squat bronze for the time being, with Prandi Marino to follow. Just 3 kilos below her best, a 12.5 kilo jump. Her opener and her second both moved the same, obviously the same weight, just had to look for that depth. And hopefully, again, no strength issues and could keep that depth that she found on that second. And we knew strength wasn't going to be the issue, but unfortunately depth is. And we'll have a look at that again in the replay. Definitely was more convincing than the opener, but I suppose the refs not as convinced as they were on her second.
Yeah, as you can see on that replay, that depth from that left side there, particularly noticeable. But as I said before, if the centre referee is calling it too, very, very noticeable.
And that does mean that Elsa Prandi Marino, at the very least, secures squat bronze. She's looking to move into squat silver for the time being, with Abora to follow. 172.5 to match her personal best. Again, another lifter who got called on depth for her opening attempt and found it on her second. Strength again, definitely not an issue. And nor is depth this time round. 2-1, a good lift. Just getting a yellow from the side on the, you're going to see on the replay. I think that might have been for the elbows resting on the legs.
Yeah, quite possibly. That's not an infraction you see quite as commonly, and yeah, it doesn't get called as much, but it does indeed happen. So that ref on the far side might have been spot on with that. They're allowed to touch the legs as long as it doesn't aid the lift.
Yeah, similar to hitting the rack during bench.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now our penultimate squat attempt, we have Betty Abora from the Netherlands, 177.5 to match her personal best and move her into squat silver and gain those kilos that are going to be really quite helpful in the fight overall.
You can see the Dutch audience members there wearing their orange as well.
Yeah, and that is spot on, a great fight, and you can see how relieved she is to get that up. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a very well executed squat session for Betty and Team Netherlands.
Absolutely, and she'll be looking to push her subtotal as far as she can, just so she's got a little bit more comfort there in her deadlift. But of course, as you said, Betty has previously held squat records. Deadlift records, sorry.
However, talking about squat records, we do have Natalie Hunter coming out now. We knew she'd be going for it. However, just pushing past it, instead of going for 196, she's going for an almost equal 10 kilo jump for 200.5, and it does bring her much closer to Betty on prognosis. Just 2 kilos separates them if she's to get this. So for a new world junior record to extend her own by 5 kilos, as she got last year at Junior Worlds, Natalie Hunter from the United States, 200.5 200.5 kilos on the bar.
Yeah, and the crowd is on their feet, cameras out.
And that again is a perfect attempt from Team USA. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a new world record. Let's have a look at that again. A great execution from Hunter, and again, a great squat session for Natalie Hunter and Team USA. And a quick summary of the squats as we've seen them. Frandy Marino in squat bronze with 172.5 for Spain. Betty Iborra in silver with 177.5 for the Netherlands. And of course, with an extension of her own world junior record, Natalie Hunter from the United States of America with 200.5 kilos. We're going to head into a 10-minute break now before bench press. We'll see you there. And welcome back to the 2025 IPF World Sub-Junior and Junior Powerlifting Championships here in San Jose, Costa Rica. And we have the 63 kilo junior ladies for you. And after a great squat session, we are heading into bench. We of course saw Natalie Hunter extend her own junior world record from 195.5 to 200.5. And that is the beginning of, I think, a very exciting and intense battle to come.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had nothing but energy so far from these 63 kilo juniors. We are starting now with the B flight lifters and their first bench attempts. Opening up will be Ayuka Suzuki from Japan with 40 kilos on the bar. That looks like a pretty comfortable opener for Suzuki, and yes, she gets the 3 white lights. It was 10 kilos under her current bench press PB, so maybe she is looking to equal that today. Our next lifter out will be Andrea Valdez from Panama with 57.5 kilos on the bar. Again, 10 kilos underneath her current bench press PB.
The bar is loaded.
And I think similar to her opener, just out a little bit late there.
Yeah, perhaps mistimed warm-ups, as you said before. I don't see her in the waiting area there, but she may be on her way. She did rush out for her squat and get it with about 4 seconds left on the clock. Of course, lifters are allowed to have a whole minute, and they can utilize that minute how they wish, but they do need to get that start command.
Yeah, and particularly on bench, when usually it's a lengthier setup, there are more commands, it's more technical. It's certainly not the one that you want to leave it to the last second. I think if you're going to do it on any of them deadlifts, probably.
She is running, but she's been stopped by the TC. She has 9 seconds left on the clock. I'm not super convinced she will get the bar unwrapped in time, but we have seen stranger things.
Yeah, unfortunately, left less time for her bench than she did for her squat. And as we said, hopefully a mistake she doesn't make again on her second or on deadlifts.
Yeah, hopefully that will be a cautionary tale there for her deadlifts. It would suck for her to have the same mistake happen for a third time. We now have Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica with 60 kilos on the bar. This is a 2.5 kilo jump up from her PB. So opening on a PB on a world stage, pretty impressive. Hernandez here explaining how she would like the bar to be passed out to her. Of course, lifters can opt to have a handout there from the centre spotter. It was very quick for an opener there from Hernandez, and she does get the 3 white lights, so she is on the board there with her first bench press. As with squats, we do want our lifters getting their first lifts relatively easily just to start building their total. If the lifter fails to register a lift in any event, they won't get a total and won't technically be part of the competition, but can still continue to lift. We now have Martha Tai from New Zealand with 65 kilos on the bar, just 5 kilos underneath her listed bench press PB. Martha also told me she has learnt how to say her handout instructions in Spanish, just in case there were any language difficulties here in Costa Rica. That moved very quickly, nice and smooth, and she gets the 3 white lights. Martha seems very happy with that.
The bar is loaded.
Coming out next will be our Belgian lifter, Julie De Preta, with 65 kilos on the bar.
Very easy looking opener there for De Preta. Unfortunately, there's a depth call from the center referee there, Brian. Let's have a look at that in the replay as we describe to you what elbow depth we are looking for.
I personally don't see the issue there with her depth. However, that is something that generally only the centre referee can call in the moment, as the side referees don't have that angle that they need. We now have Antonia Belén Oliver Vega from Chile, 75 kilos on the bar.
Five kilos below her best. As we said before, has been competing less than a year, so probably doesn't know where her own ceiling of strength is. Three white lights, a good lift.
The bar is loaded now for Yanelis Rivera from Puerto Rico with 77.5 kilos on the bar. Her listed bench press PB is 79 kilos, and as it's not a 2.5 kilo increment, I'm wondering if it's a Puerto Rican record.
I would imagine that to be the case, and with only one place you can go from 77.5, looking to extend that on her second, should this go well. And it's extremely comfortable, and 2-1, a good lift. A yellow from the center referee, so I'm wondering if that's for her hair being off, which is allowed as long as it's your head that's on the bench. I didn't see her jump any commands.
Yeah, I didn't see any infractions there either, and our lifter did tie her hair up as is requested if a lifter's hair is too long to see whether their head is on the bench. So she clearly knows that rule because she wasn't asked to do it as she came out onto the platform. Now we'll have Anya O'Neill from Ireland with 80 kilos on the bar.
Anya opening 2.5 kilos below her personal best. Seeing more and more lifters dropping the use of wrist wraps for bench press nowadays.
Makes my wrists hurt just looking at it, but I've been using wrist wraps for years and years, and I don't see that changing anytime soon.
And it works for O'Neill. It's a lovely opener. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, plenty of room for growth there, and definitely a new PB in the pipeline for her. I think, based on what we can hear from the crowd, our next lifter is indeed Nancy Lopez from Mexico with 82.5 kilos on the bar.
A lot of support by the sounds of some of the noises from some geese as well.
It does indeed sound like that.
And that is lovely. 3 white lights, a good lift. And how can you not smile when you have that much support?
Absolutely. We now are coming round to the second round of bench press for this B flight here. We will be opening with our Japanese lifter Ayuka Suzuki. On your screen now you can see the bench results as they stand, but keep in mind that this is the B flight lifters and we will have the A flight lifters yet to come. And here's Ayuka Suzuki now. She'll be coming up to 45 kilos, a nice 5 kilo jump up from her opener, which did move incredibly smoothly. We do have one lifter yet to post a score in the bench, Valdez from Panama. She, of course, timed out, unfortunately, so we're hoping she is ready and waiting there for her second attempt.
Yeah, plenty left in the tank there for Suzuki, and I imagine looking to match that personal best. And we would hope, like you said, Valdez is nearby and waiting, eyes on the screen. Important to know where you're coming out for that exact reason.
Absolutely. The bar is loaded now for Valdez with 57.5 kilos, and she is straight out there. Thank goodness for that. She's giving herself the best opportunity she can to set up properly.
It's 10 kilos below her personal best, so hopefully well within reason to get this and make a decent jump. And yeah, based off that, perhaps that's what she'll plan to do.
Yeah, she's on the board now, so that is all our B flight lifters up there with bench press attempts.
And I was a little worried that perhaps she was working without a coach there because of the timing. That's a lot of the coach's job, but I did see a coach back there, so perhaps something he needs to keep an eye on for deadlifts.
Yeah, absolutely. And this session was delayed by half an hour, so maybe that has thrown them off a little bit. However, there are multiple screens around the venue, so they can keep track of the order. We now have Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica with 65 kilos.
Must be a 5 kilo personal best for Morales Hernandez. Very, very speedy second attempt, 3 white lights.
Yeah, that moved really well. So she'll be looking to collect some more kilos there on her third.
The bar is loaded.
The bar loaded now for Julie De Preta from Belgium with 67.5 kilos on the bar. This will be an equal bench press PB should she get it. She's just taken a 2.5 kilo jump up from her opener there. And I think 2.5 kilo jumps are very reasonable jumps in bench press, particularly with these lighter lifters.
Yeah, and she did get 2-to-1 in good lift on her opening attempt, so perhaps just keeping an eye out for that infraction, not jumping too much. Yeah, and it's clearly still very comfortable. I think they were just being extra cautious of that red in the middle.
Yeah, absolutely. The red, of course, is a depth call from the centre referee.
Which I don't think I could ask for a more perfect example of elbow depth there.
Yeah, her arms almost came parallel to the bench, which is, of course, in the realms of elbow depth. So I think the jury is pretty happy with that. We've now got Martha Tai coming out for 70 kilos, and she is explaining to her spotter how she wants her handout. I did say before that she has learned how to say her handout instructions in Spanish, so if there were any language difficulties.
And that is called going the extra mile.
It is indeed. What can I say for our Kiwi lifters?
And it seemed to work. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, very smooth for a second, and she skips off the platform pretty happy with that.
I'd definitely like to know whether she chose English or Spanish.
Yeah, I will have to ask her afterwards. I'll let you know in the deadlift session.
I look forward to that.
Coming out now, we will have Antonia Belén Olive Vega from Chile with 80 kilos on the bar, a 5 kilo jump up from her opener, and an equal PB should she get it.
The bar is loaded.
A little bit shaky off the chest there, but still does a really good job to finish it. 3 white lights, a good lift. And this is where you would start seeing perhaps that 2.5 kilo jump be utilized, especially on the bench press. The brakes come on really hard and fast.
Coming out now, we've got Janelis Rivera from Puerto Rico with 82.5 kilos. She did receive a yellow from the centre referee in her first attempt, but we were not 100% sure what the infraction was for. However, we will keep a closer eye on it and see if she has fixed it, or if perhaps it becomes more obvious in her second.
Still extremely comfortable. And 3 white lights, a good lift. Didn't get that yellow this time round. And good to go for the third. And beats, I imagine, that Puerto Rican record that she was holding before.
We now have Anya O'Neill from Ireland coming up for 82.5 kilos. Should she get this, this will be an equal bench press PB for her.
Yeah, and I can definitely see 85 kilos on the cards for her.
Yeah, absolutely. She can't be too unimpressed with that. I'm not sure I even have to introduce the lifter that will be coming up next after Anya. I assume on the live stream you will be able to hear it.
Yeah, I think someone else will introduce her for you. I think it's Nancy coming out.
Yes, I can hear the chants from the Mexican crowd there. Nancy Lopez, of course, with 87.5 kilos on the bar. Less kazoos this time round, though.
They're here to offer variety, you know, for Lopez. Unfortunately, it seemed pretty heavy there. Still get support, rain or shine.
Yeah, absolutely, and she can come back and attempt that again on her third, and hopefully with a little bit more volume from the crowd, it will push that bar right up.
And that's what we mean by, you know, the brakes coming on hard and fast in bench press. It can really look very different from just a few kilos.
Absolutely. We're now moving into the third round of bench here for these B-flight lifters. This is 50 kilos on the bar for Ayuka Suzuki. Should she get this, this will be an equal bench press PB for her. And I think equaling your PB on the world stage is a pretty impressive feat, especially for our young lifters here.
Absolutely. It's assumed that, you know, those personal bests are hit in ideal circumstances on home soil, or more than ideal circumstances. So to hit them here really is something special.
Yeah, I think that was a really nice third attempt selection there by the Japanese coaching team. Coming out now, we'll have Andrea Valdez from Panama with 67.5 kilos on the bar. She is looking to make up ground for where she lost out on her first attempt time-wise.
Yeah, and the 57.5 was very comfortable, but I have to say, 10 kilo jump on bench is a lot.
It is, it really is.
But I'm hoping that the 57.5 was comfortable enough that 10 kilos can land her about where she wants to be. I imagine this is where they were planning on ending up. It is a huge fight, and just as glued there. And it really does matter sometimes how you get there. A 10 kilo jump on bench, you can really, really feel the difference than if you just take 5 and then 5 and end up on that weight anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
The ball is loaded.
Out now, we've got Maria Paula Morales Hernandez with 70 kilos on the bar. Should she get this, this will be a 5 kilo bench press PB.
Huge fight, great effort, but just too much weight on the bar today.
Yeah, unfortunately, as you said, the brakes can come on quite hard on bench. So giving it a go on your third is kind of all you can ask for. We do have Julie Depreta now from Belgium with 70 kilos on the bar and a lot of support from the crowd. This is a 2.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt.
And I was never in any doubt, really. All of her attempts have been very speedy.
Yeah, absolutely. She does seem stoked with that, so I'm glad she can go away feeling proud of herself after bench press.
The bar is loaded.
The bar being loaded now for Martha Tai of New Zealand with 72.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt and a 2.5 kilo PB should she get it. Oh, that did look very smooth for a third, and Martha can be stoked with that. The bar being loaded now for Antonia Belén Oliva Vega from Chile with 82.5 kilos, a 2.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt.
Yeah, I think this is definitely the right call for them here in the third. Second was starting to look a little tough, but I think she could collect a couple of extra kilos here. She sticks with it through that sticking point in the middle. But no, just can't get it off the chest today.
And the bar is loaded. No changes to the openers. No changes.
The bar being loaded now for Anya O'Neill of Ireland with 85 kilos for a 2.5 kilo bench press PB and a 2.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt there.
Very well executed third attempt, but unfortunately a red from the center and side referee for elbow depth. Head coach goes to the jury as we watch that again here. Yeah, and I can argue the case for the lifter there that it looked okay. Coach wanders over to the jury. And unfortunately is sent away.
He gave it his best shot, and I think as a coach you do have to have your lifter's best interests at heart.
A great final attempt for Nancy Lopez, who managed after that tricky second to pull herself back and get that 87.5 on her third.
We now have 90 kilos on the bar for Janelis Rivera from Puerto Rico. And the Puerto Rican crowd is out in force this evening.
Huge personal best with the 7.5 kilo jump. Bigger jump here than she took from her opener to her second. Did move well. But maybe just got a little greedy on the day there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 7.5 kilo jumps in bench press anyway for these lighter lifters. It's a fair chunk. It's a fair chunk of the weight they're lifting, and it's also a fair chunk of their own body weight.
We now move on to the A-Flight 63 kilo junior ladies here. And we can see the running order as it stands immediately. This A-Flight with their openers will take the bench press medals, and we'll see them exchange them over the next couple of attempts. First out, we have Hannah Rush from Australia, 77.5 kilos.
Did look smooth, but she got a yellow light in the centre there.
Yeah, the centre referee gave it in the last round that we weren't too sure about, and she wouldn't be able to see the glutes from the front. Jury seem happy with it. It remains a good lift. Idianes from Slovenia, 87.5 kilos. Opening 10 kilos below her personal best. comfortable opening attempt. Does get a red light from the side referee for elbow depth. She looks
Yeah.
back a little confused there.
It is a tricky thing to call from the side, but it is possible. I do wonder if our side referee has picked up on something there. However, I wouldn't have said it was her left elbow that was the more noticeable of the two.
If I'm being honest, I think it's fine, and the jury seem to agree as well, so it will remain as a good lift. Veronique Doré from Canada, opening on 90 kilos, which is her current bench press personal best.
In 3 whites, it's a good lift.
We have Minerva Nanez Garcia from Spain, 90 kilos. Seven and a half kilos below her personal best. Had a little bit of trouble only getting one squat in on the board due to depth. So bench press is a little smoother for her. Moved very well. Does get a depth call from the center referee, and it feels like those calls are chasing her.
Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, the jury are looking at it, and I mean, all it takes is a slight discrepancy in refereeing for the jury to overrule a lift.
And it looks like they have. Unfortunately, depth is not her friend on squat nor bench today, and hopefully something she can readjust once again. Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic, opening on her personal best of 97.5 kilos. Giving very specific instructions there to the spotter of how she would or would not like her handout given.
And that was a really smooth opening attempt from our Dominican lifter with 3 white lights, so she's on.
The bar is loaded.
Now the final opening attempt, 6 left to go, and all 100 kilos and up. First of which with a new junior squat record of 200.5 kilos, Natalie Hunter from the United States. 5 kilos below her best bench. Like I said, neck and neck with Betty Bora from the Netherlands, both with the same bench press opener. Each has an individual discipline where they excel. Natalie's the squat, Betty's the deadlift. Let's see how bench press goes for them both. It's a solid looking opening attempt. 3 white lights, a good lift.
White lights of the lift, 100 kilos is the box.
And I don't know what you would put on top of that. It is hard to gauge. Maybe 5 to 7.5. I think 5 on the safer side of things. But if they're trying to really push Team Netherlands, they're going to want to add as many kilos as possible.
Absolutely. Natalie will be looking to push her subtotal as far as she possibly can and just leave Betty scrambling a bit in deadlifts.
Yeah, if possible, and 105 would seem like the smart decision to me. Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, 100 kilos, opening on her personal best. Another athlete who struggled with depth and squat. Ooh, and that is extremely concerning. And I imagine and I hope it would be a technical issue there or precision. But if we have a look at that again here, just struggles to get the bench off of her chest,
The bar is loaded.
which is extremely troublesome. Again, not a great start to bench press for this flight of ladies. 2 without openers on the board yet. 100 kilos stays on the bar for Betty Abora from the Netherlands. Like we said, her and Natalie's bench are so neck and neck. It'll be interesting to see who here can maybe make the slightly better jumps, or bigger jumps rather, and end on a higher bench, or if they will continue to stay matched. Let's see how this 100 moves for Betty. Same as Natalie, has a personal best of 105. Three white lights, a good lift, a very comfortable opener for Betty.
Yeah, absolutely. I do think we are going to be in for a good battle with Betty and Natalie come deadlifts. I mean, even now we're seeing some big numbers being put up by both of them.
And I imagine them to make a similar jump there to their second. They looked very similar. 102.5 for Astrid Edson from Sweden. Opening on her personal best. Will definitely be fighting for a bench press medal. See an extremely exaggerated arch position there, and that's what you initially worry about when you see that position, is the elbow depth. And let's see from a better angle if that is a fair call. Now it is a good lift. Tell me your thoughts on this, Briar.
I do wonder about that right elbow in particular. Like you said, the arch is there to reduce range of motion, therefore lifting the weight less way. However, it does put bench depth at risk. The jury seemed to be okay with it, so that lift does seem to stand there for our Swedish lifter.
Elise Hidora from the Netherlands, 102.5, opening 2.5 kilos below her personal best. And unfortunately, 2-1, a no lift for depth. And yeah, that the left side referee calling depth a lot as well. We'll have a look here at the replay, and that is 3 lifters without their openers on the board.
Yeah, there is a discrepancy there, and the Dutch coach has gone over to the jury to contest it, as he is well within his rights to do.
And now our final opening attempt, Elsa Prandi Merino from Spain, 110 kilos, and as I said, fighting for podium position. It seems like Idora Elise is going to keep as a no lift.
That is a shame. And as we saw in squats, there are a few reds here for the opening attempts for this A flight.
Let's hope that trend does not follow Prandi Merino here. It's very quick. I'm a little worried now about the elbows though. And yeah, there we go, 2-1, a no lift. And I think they're being strict or firm, but consistent with the lifters.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that centre ref and that left-hand referee are paying particular attention to elbow depth today, which is great because I don't think I've seen many calls for elbow depth so far in the championship.
No, and you know, that is 4 lifters like squats without openers on the board, and as we move through to the second round, it does spell some trouble. And I think this is the gripe a lot of people have with that elbow depth, you know, because it has to be up to the judgment of the referees at the time. It can seem inconsistent from session to session. 82.5 kilos for Hannah Rush from Australia, a 5 kilo jump. This would match her personal best. Three white lights, a good lift.
The bar is loaded.
Ida Yanes from Slovenia taking 2.5 kilo jump to 90 kilos for her second attempt. Got 2-1 on her opener, and it's moved. It was the left side referee, now the center referee, and it's a good lift. It's actually looked a little bit more comfortable than her opener in terms of strength, but
The bar is loaded.
Yeah, that centre referee making sure these girls are lifting to the standard required with the depth.
I've got to say, I think that was fine, in my opinion, and I'm hoping that follows for Minerva Mañez Garcia. Jumped 2.5 kilos anyway, similar to her opening squat. Hoping to find some extra elbow depth here, convince at least one more of the referees and hopefully the jury. It definitely looks better to me. I think that's fine.
Yeah, it definitely came down a lot further than her opener, and I'm hoping she continues that trend on her third.
And it's hard. Sometimes I feel judging these on the commentary, I'm shooting blind a little bit until I know how the referees are going to be judging on that particular day. It's a hard rule to follow at times.
It is, and it is also a relatively new rule that did have a few teething issues when it was very first written, with different national federations interpreting it slightly differently.
Veronique Dor from Canada, 95 kilos, a 5 kilo jump for a personal best. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights.
The bar is loaded.
Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, retaking 100 kilos. Very similar story as we saw before. I believe every lifter that missed that opening attempt was due to elbow depth.
Yeah, I believe you are right with that. So we're hoping to watch these lifters regain some ground and, of course, start adding to their total.
No, and actually I mistake myself, as Georgia on her opening attempt did struggle to get it off her chest, and it looked very similar to that. And I was worried then, and I'm even more worried now, as it just is starting to look like a strength issue. And she's a very technical bencher, so I've seen people come back from that, but it's hard to imagine, although I can hope.
Yeah, unracking that weight as well a couple of times, it can get lifters into their head a little bit, coming out to their third attempt knowing it is all or nothing at that point.
Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic, jumping 5 kilos to 102.5. very well controlled bench for Coco Troncoso. 3 white lights, a good lift. That moves on to bench silver for the time being with 5 lifters to follow. It's going to jump around for the next few minutes, so I'll get back to you on rankings in the 3rd round. Elise Idora from the Netherlands, retaking 102.5, got called on elbow depth on that opening attempt.
Yeah, she got called by the centre and that left side referee there, and her coach was unable to contest it with the jury at that point. Well, he contested it, but they turned him away.
And it's a little tougher this time round. 2-1, a good lift. And I think it's a case right now where, as you were saying before, the jury aren't getting involved too much with the referee's decisions. If it's 2-1, they seem to be leaving it most of the time. And if it's 2-1 the other way, they'll keep it as a no lift.
Absolutely. So she did manage to convince that left side referee. So hopefully she can convince the centre referee on her 3rd attempt.
Absolutely. 105 kilos for Natalie Hunter. This is the jump we suspected from her, matching her personal best. Going band for band with Betty Abora so far in jumps. Betty, who's to follow. Looks good, and it is 3 white lights.
Yeah, she's really building on that subtotal now.
Now, as I said, matching jumps here with Natalie Hunter. Betty Abora from the Netherlands, 105 kilos, also matching her personal best. So like I said, their benches very, very well matched up against each other. And they're going to want to keep matching each other, because whoever misses a bench, if they do, are at a real disadvantage heading into deadlifts. 105 now for Abora. And it looks good. I have to say, a little tougher than Hunter's.
Yeah, a bit slow there. I do wonder if the Dutch coaching team will utilise that 2.5.
And the issue is, if she does not get that 3rd, they're going to match with 107.5. They're both making that jump. Then Hunter goes into deadlifts ahead of her by half a kilo because of the chip she got on squat. So we'll have to see how that pans out after the 3rd attempt, and hopefully for Team Netherlands that's not the case. But Team USA will be watching closely. Astrid Edvardsson from Sweden, 107.5, moving her into bench press gold with Prandi Marino to follow, who is not yet on the board. Two to one, a good lift. Another lift getting caught by the depth rule there. So far, a good lift. We'll have a look at the replay.
Yeah, absolutely. The jury are discussing it, but I think, as you said before, they're not getting involved too heavily with the 2-1 calls, and they are trusting the referees on the platform.
And because that is the case, we're hoping that Prandi Marino now can just convince one more of those referees at the very least She's chosen to go up 5 kilos anyway to 115. We know that she's in the fight for the overall podium, so she's not risking losing those kilos. It's all or nothing for her today. Strength, like we said, not an issue. Two to one, a good lift. Convinces that one more referee, and let's have a look at the replay. So far the jury have not got involved, and we hope that remains the case here.
Yeah, I think that convincing the centre referee, she managed to do a good job.
Yeah, it looks a-okay from here, and we head into the final round of bench press. Now Brandy Marino on the board, leading in gold, Edfordson in silver, and just behind on bodyweight, Hunter above Abora. Still, we have Kukuza not yet on the board. Hannah Rush from Australia, 85 kilos for a new personal best. Wow, a great fight from Rush. Managed to lock both elbows out, I think, but unfortunately, yeah, with that much drive, your glutes are bound to come up. We can't see it from that angle, but you can see the hips moving.
Oh, there we go. Side angle there, you were able to see a little bit of rise. The Australian coach heading over to the jury table as well. I did wonder if she'd get blue lights for double movement as well, because I did think I saw the bar dip. However, obviously it wasn't noticeable enough for those side referees.
92.5 kilos for Ilianes from Slovenia. 2.5 kilo jump. She's got one red light on each attempt so far, and I think as long as she keeps it that, or ideally less, she should be fine. Taking her time to set up. And it is a great fight. Locks her left arm out, but unfortunately the right was unwilling.
And she gave it the best effort that she could, and on the world stage for a third attempt, you can't ask for much more than that.
Veronique Dore from Canada, 97.5 kilos. Another great fight, and manages to lock it out. Is the fight worth it? It is. 3 white lights, a good lift.
I don't think you can ask much more from a third bench there.
The bar is loaded. She needs this to stay in the competition. 100 kilos on the bar.
Georgia Kukuza from Italy. Now, it looks like a strength issue on her opener and on her second, and I'm really hoping that is not the case. Usually you'd be able to tell by a lifter's warm-ups and adjust accordingly. I'm hoping there's something slight she can change with her bench. But for now, Nothing on the board. And I'm worried there's a different issue this time round. No, there wasn't. 2-1, a good lift. I was a little worried she jumped the command, but she's on the board.
She does get that red from that left side referee for depth. The jury have looked at it and they seem pretty relaxed.
Well, she certainly had my heart rate up.
Yeah, definitely. But she is on the board, and I believe that is everyone there.
Yeah, it absolutely is. 100 kilos now for Minerva Mañez Garcia from Spain, perhaps looking to make up a little bit of ground here. Taking a 7.5 kilo jump from her second to her third for a personal best. A big milestone, that 100 kilos. Yeah, and I think they were trying to make up some ground there, but like we said before, how you get there, particularly in bench press, really can make a huge difference.
Absolutely. It is a shame there that she only posted one bench, but she is on the board. And one squat. It seems to be a bit of a pattern there for our Spanish lifters, so I hope she manages to break that trend for deadlifts.
The bar is loaded.
Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from the Dominican Republic, taking 2.5 kilo jump, 105 for a new personal best. On her way to another personal best, en route to a huge total PB. Let's see how this moves for her. And she is performing so well today. 2-1, a good lift. If we look at that replay from the side angle, we'll see if we can catch what that yellow is for. I think she looks okay from what we saw of that.
Yeah, I think she'd be pretty safe with that.
Oh no, the jury's overruled it, unfortunately, and I can't tell you for why, but I imagine they saw something we didn't.
Absolutely. They were pretty quick to overrule as well, so they must have been pretty firm in that decision there, all three of them sitting on that far side.
Natalie Hunter from the United States, 107.5 kilos, currently sat in bench press bronze, but these extra couple kilos may be pivotal. Looks like she's done it bang on the money. 3 white lights, a good lift, and the pressure is on Betty Iborra now to retaliate.
Of course, Betty with the higher lot number, so she lifts after Natalie.
Natalie doing what she can to build that big subtotal, knowing she's going up against a previous record holder in the deadlifts. Betty Iborra from the Netherlands coming out looking to match that jump we've just seen Hunter make. 105 was pretty tough for Betty, but getting these extra couple kilos really, as I said they were for Natalie, really are also for Betty pivotal. And she gets it up, 2-1, a good lift. Watch that on the replay. She does get a yellow from the side referee. And I saw some movement, but I don't know if I saw any lift. But unfortunately, the jury has overruled that. And that leaves Betty 0.5 kilo behind Hunter heading into deadlifts.
Yeah, not a great place for Betty to be in, but I'm sure that the deadlift queen can make up the kilos. The Dutch fans in the crowd quite disappointed by the jury's decision.
110 kilos for Astrid Edvardsson from Sweden. This will be a 2.5 kilo personal best and keeps her in bench silver for the time being, with Adora and Prandi Marino to follow. She's lighter than Adora, so if she's to make this, she secures the silver. And manages to lock it out, but unfortunately, yeah, a depth call and yellows from the side, so I assume there might have been some lifting from the glutes. Yeah, it was not on at all.
No, but you expect that when it does come to that those maximum effort lifts.
And now the silver at risk. Elisa Dora from the Netherlands taking a 7.5 kilo jump to 110. And we spoke about this being a pretty big jump for a lifter to take on bench press, so we'll see how she fares with it. She gets either a silver medal bench or no medal whatsoever.
It's quite a lot at stake, and of course she did get those 2 reds for depth on her first attempt.
No, and like we said, the 7.5 maybe just a bit over ambitious.
Yeah, that is unfortunate there for Elise, but she gave it a crack.
And our final bench press of the day, Elsa Prandi Marino from Spain missed her opener on depth, got it on her second, jumping another equal 5 kilos for 120, new personal best, and keeps her in a really sweet spot for that podium position of bronze overall. Manages to lock it out, and it is a good lift. 3 white lights and bench press gold.
7 minutes to change over for Vigo. 7 minutes.
And that concludes the bench press attempts. In bench press bronze, Hunter from the United States on body weight behind, Edvardsson in silver, and in gold, Prandi Marino from Spain. We're going to head into a 10-minute break now before we see the conclusion, the very exciting conclusion of the 63s. We'll see you there. And welcome back to the 2025 IPF World Junior Powerlifting Championships here in San Jose, Costa Rica. I'm Amelia Potter, joined by Brian Lynch, and we have the 63 kilo class for you, and we are in for a tight battle at the end. Of course, we have 2 flights of 63s, so you'll have to wait a little while longer to see the conclusion of that, but plenty of great lifting to come before.
Absolutely, and starting off our B flight lifters here is Ayuka Suzuki from Japan with 90 kilos on the bar. Her PB total, her PB deadlift, pardon me, is listed as 110 kilos. So, seeing how this moves, I'm sure she's looking to add to it.
Very snappy opener for Ayuka Suzuki. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, so she's up there now with her total, so she can just be looking to push those numbers a little bit further now. The bar loaded now for Yanielis Rivera from Puerto Rico. 130 kilos on the bar.
Bit of a hybrid stance there for Rivera.
Seems to do her justice though, she manages to lock it out. Our referee was just a little bit slow on the lights there. He was reaching for his flag, but she's got 3 whites. The bar getting loaded now with 130 kilos for Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica.
With this opening attempt, the lifters are looking to secure their total. And with no depth involved in deadlift, we're hoping to see a much less dramatic start to the discipline.
Just 3 whites there.
Yeah, and the first deadlift is really the first time you know that you have secured that total and you actually can push and take risks a little bit more if you want to.
Absolutely, and that's why we can see some epic deadlift battles come the 3rd deadlift. This now is Anya O'Neill from Ireland with 155 kilos on the bar and making it look very smooth indeed.
3 white lights, a good lift.
155 and a half for Antonia Galena Vega. The bar is loaded.
Our next lifter, Antonia Belén Olave Vega from Chile with 155 kilos on the bar. Yeah, that did look very smooth for her first. The bar loaded now for Andrea Valdez from Panama, 155 kilos. Unlike her squat and bench, she has made it out onto the platform with plenty of time to spare, giving herself the best chance to add to her total.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. Out nice and early, ready for that final pull. Secures the total.
The bar
bar loaded now for Julie De Prete from Belgium, 162.5 kilos. A little bit of effort there at the top for our Belgian lifter, but she gets the white lights nonetheless.
And coming towards the end of the opening deadlifts with 2 openers to go.
Our next lifter out will be Martha Tai from New Zealand with 165 kilos. Her deadlift PB is 181, which is a New Zealand junior record, I believe. And if I remember correctly, I also refereed it. That opener looking very smooth there for Martha. 3 whites on the board. And there is 1 lifter left in this flight with an opening deadlift. And there has been a distinct lack of musical instruments so far.
Yeah, and there they are. So I'm sure, like you said, you can guess who's coming up.
It is indeed Nancy Lopez from Mexico, 170 kilos on the bar. And it's a good lift there for our Mexican lifter. And all of our B-flight lifters are on the board with their first deadlift.
A sight for sore eyes.
Absolutely. That green is very satisfying.
As you can see, the results as they stand, subject to change, not just as we have their second and third attempts, but as we have the A flight following immediately afterwards.
Our first lifter out for their second attempts will be Ayuka Suzuki from Japan with 105 kilos on the bar. Her opener did look super snappy.
Yeah, a reasonable jump here, just 5 kilos below her personal best.
Oh, a bit of effort there and a little bit of a sticking point. I'll be interested to see what the referees say. Yeah, she did get 1 blue on the side here, and I would have said that was for double movement, so the jury will probably look at that. Our next lifter out will be Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica, 140 kilos on the bar.
A 10 kilo jump here, landing her 5 kilos below her personal best on deadlift and matching her best total with the second attempt.
I think that moved how you would expect a second attempt to, especially in PB territory. She gets the 3 white lights, so she'll be looking to add to that personal best.
The bar is loaded.
The bar loaded now for Janelis Rivera from Puerto Rico, 145 kilos on the bar.
Yeah, 15 kilos seems to be a relatively popular jump in this flight.
If Jenny List gets this. It will be significantly above her deadlift PB, which is listed as 137.5 kilos. And she makes pretty easy work of that.
And it's a good lift through white lights.
The bar loaded now for Antonia Belén Oliva Vega from Chile, 165 kilos, a 10 kilo jump up from her first attempt there.
Yeah, landing her very close to her personal best and matching her best total. And still very comfortable for her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Three white lights, a good lift.
The bar's just being brushed clean now. Obviously that's something that happens between every third attempt deadlift, but the coaches can request that earlier in the deadlift session as well. Our next lifter out will be Anya O'Neill from Ireland, 167.5 kilos on the bar.
2.5 kilos shy of her personal best on deadlift. 7.5 off her personal best on total. For 12.5. Yeah, and again, she's been lifting very well today.
I think all of the Irish lifters I've seen so far at this championship have all been technically proficient, and look at that little dance there.
A great celebration there. Clearly a good bond between athlete and coach. I expect to see some of that from Team New Zealand later in the week.
We will have to get practicing. Out now we have Andrea Valdez from Panama, 170 kilos on the bar. Another 15 kilo jump up from her opening attempt. Valdez perhaps looking to make up some of the ground she lost with missing her first attempt on squat and bench. Oh, yes, squat and bench. Julie Di Preta now coming out for 172.5 kilos.
A 10 kilo jump from her opener, landing at 2.5 below her personal best on deadlift and giving her a 5 kilo personal best in total. Really great final second pull for Julie, but yeah, just unfortunately assisting on the legs there. 3 blues. We'll have a look at that in the replay. I was going to say it looks like as well as that she's towards the top end, which is why you start seeing breakdown like that happen.
Yeah, she is definitely reaching that top end. 3 blues though, hard to argue with that, and looking at the replay as well, she did indeed use her legs to assist her to lock the lift out. Martha Tai coming out now from New Zealand with 175 kilos on the bar. She is looking to push towards that deadlift PB territory, but we'll see how the second moves and look at what kind of jump they can take. I think that was a pretty fair second attempt there from Martha. Perhaps deadlift PB, perhaps playing it safe and looking for more white lights. And as we come to...
Like you said, she's here to have fun, so whatever that means for her in that third attempt.
Absolutely, and I think fun for a lot of our younger lifters is super important to their longevity in the sport. You can hear now the Mexican crowd are out in force for Nancy Lopez, coming up for 182.5 kilos for her second attempt.
and a very solid looking second attempt. Center referee not happy with the lockout, so we've seen a lot of reds in squat and bench. Obviously not a depth issue on deadlift. That is just not happy with that finishing position, but we'll have a look here on the replay. Two side referees happy with it, and I think she should be fine with that.
Yeah, I think she should be fine with it as well. The centre referee quite often struggles to see how locked out the shoulders are just due to their positioning.
We now head into the third and final round for this first flight of 63s. We move through to the A flight, who are to follow.
The bar loaded now for Ayuka Suzuki from Japan, 112.5 kilos, a 7.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt. And should she get this, it will be a 2.5 kilo deadlift PB.
Fight for Suzuki. She's still going, but just glued above that. Yeah. Unfortunately, not there, but a great effort, and all countries cheering her on there. We heard the cheers of Mexico, the flag of Japan.
That's something I really enjoy about powerlifting and these events, is there does seem to be a camaraderie developed between lifters, and they will cheer on their direct competitors in most cases.
In most cases. I'm not sure the Netherlands and USA will be doing that today.
No, not today, but perhaps they can laugh about it tomorrow, depending on what the results are. Next up, we've got Maria Paula Morales Hernandez from Costa Rica, 147.5 kilos on the bar, a 7.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt, and it would be a nice 2.5 kilo PB for her should she get this lift.
Just not there.
She's stuck at her knees.
Great effort.
Yeah, no one can fault the effort she gave that lift. And the centre referee did give her a good amount of time to try and get it past those knees before she gave her the down command. The bar being loaded now for Yanelis Rivera from Puerto Rico with 155 kilos. Her deadlift PB is listed as 145, which she has already matched today.
Big final pull to give her a 390 total, and Puerto Rican fans in the crowd going wild for her to do so.
And she seems very pleased with herself there, as she should.
Celebrating, charging at someone. We can't see who, and I hope there's someone there to celebrate with her.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's her coach and she's not just running headfirst into the TC. We have now Julie De Preta from Belgium with 172.5 kilos on the bar. She did miss this on her second attempt, so she is looking to collect those kilos that she left out here just a little bit earlier. And she does seem stuck in quite a similar place, and she gave it an RPE 11 effort there, I would say.
Yeah, that was a great effort. Obviously got those blues on her second attempt and just couldn't finish the job this time round, but like you said, a great effort.
Anya O'Neill will be coming out now for her third and final deadlift with 7.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt. This will be a 5 kilo PB should she get it.
The bar is loaded.
The the bar loaded for Anya now.
Big milestone getting those 3 red plates on the bar, particularly at this level of competition. Wow, and she actually continues to pull. I'm hoping not to see blues. 2-1, a good lift. We'll have a look at that again in the replay. What an effort.
Yeah, she came to an absolute dead stop there. I don't think I saw a dip, but the jury is discussing it.
I'm a little worried there was, yeah, and the jury has overruled it. And I think she was worried about that at first, which is why the celebration, but a moral victory for sure.
Absolutely. The bar is loaded now for Antonia Belén Oliveira from Chile, 177.5 kilos. A 12.5 kilo jump up from her second attempt here, and looking to collect a 7.5 kilo deadlift PB.
And she keeps going, and she does manage to lock it out, but I'm a little bit worried about the delivery. Yeah, unfortunately, just not there. Blues from all 3 referees. You see the bar dip there a few times before she manages to lock it out.
Sorry, Amelia. I was just going to say, I'm really admiring the strength in these young ladies to keep pulling through that sticking point and giving it absolutely everything they have and leaving it all out there on the platform.
Yeah, absolutely, and they can't ask much more from themselves, especially on these 3rd attempts. Like we said, the total was safe. This is where they're going to be pushing themselves and each other, particularly as they're not fighting for these overall medals.
Coming out now, Andrea Valdez from Panama, 180 kilos, a 10 kilo jump up from her second attempt.
And with a lot of patience, breaks the ground. Can she finish it? She can't today, but what an effort.
Absolutely.
And like you said, so many of these girls, even though they're not getting that final pull, are pulling until they quite physically cannot pull any longer.
Absolutely. And we do love to see it. That's what we're here for. Maximum effort. We've got Martha Tai from New Zealand coming out now for 182.5. Martha looking to collect a 1.5 kilo deadlift PB, should she get this.
As well as that, a new total PB by 1.5 kilos. Oh, and an easy finish for Martha Tai. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Amazing effort there from Martha, and she seems very stoked with her day when the goal was indeed to have fun.
Job well done, I would say.
Absolutely.
Our final lifter of this first flight of 63s.
It is indeed Nancy Lopez from Mexico, 192.5 kilos on the bar.
And you thought they roared before. Let's see how loud they go for the final pull of Nancy Lopez. What an incredible finish from Lopez. 3 white lights, a good lift.
Absolutely, a great win there for Team Mexico. Both the crowd and Nancy and her coach are all super pleased with that, as they should be.
And now the battle begins. what has been so highly anticipated. We can see the results from the first group there, but we head through to the A group now, and it is going to be one huge fight between Hunter and Abora right until the end. Right now, only separated by half a kilo. Hunter, the lighter of the two lifters. And even though if it does come down to body weight, it won't need to because she has that chip, we can't guarantee that Betty won't grab a chip on her deadlift. She's the current world record holder in the deadlift for the juniors. And Minerva Mañez Garcia, with an extremely quick opener, 152.5, secures her total. Ida Yanez from Slovenia, 155 kilos on the bar. Very smooth opening attempt for Yanez.
Absolutely. As we're speaking now, more people are piling in to the venue to watch this battle between the 63 kilo juniors here. I wouldn't even say there's standing room only. Every space on the floor is filled and every seat is filled.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I could not lay a picnic blanket down anywhere here. Elisa Dora from the Netherlands, 160 on the bar for her opening attempt. Three white lights, a good lift.
Yeah, another lift is securing their total there.
In a really strong position for the bronze overall, we have Elsa Pandi Marino from Spain, 165 her opening attempt. And like a hot knife through butter, smooth as anything. Three white lights, a good lift.
As you said earlier, there aren't the depth calls here in deadlift, so we are hoping for smoother openers than we have previously seen in this A flight of lifters.
Yeah, so what Briar's referring to there, if you're just tuning in a little late, both on squat and bench, this A flight had 4 lifters that didn't get their opening attempts in on each. So like you mentioned, we're hoping for a much smoother start for them all to secure a total this first time round. Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic opening on 170. Already with this, it would give her a 7.5 kilo total personal best.
Nicole, a very technically proficient lifter, and we've seen nothing but passion from her all day.
Three white lights, a good lift. Veronique Dore from Canada, 177.5 kilos in the bar with a personal best of 190.5. What I imagine to be a junior Canadian deadlift record. See if she pushes that today at all.
Blink and you miss it. Veronique's opening attempt looking super snappy there.
Hannah Rush from Australia, 180 kilos for her opening attempt. Very smooth. Just waiting on that third referee. 3 white lights, a good lift. Let's have a look at that again. Lives up to the name Rush with the speed of that deadlift. Georgia Kutsa from Italy, 185. Gave us a bit of a scare on the bench press there, just narrowly getting it in on her third attempt.
Yeah, hopefully she's looking to make up some kilos here on the deadlift event.
2 to 1, a good lift. That side referee not completely happy with the lockout, but good enough for the other two. We'll have a look at that in the replay, as the jury will as well. And they seem happy enough with that. 185 goes into the bar for Astrid Edvardsson from Sweden.
A nice snappy opener there from our Swedish lifter, 185 kilos and 3 white lights.
And we have 2 openers remaining, and I'm sure you can guess who you haven't seen yet. 2 incredible athletes fighting for the title today. Natalie Hunter from the United States coming out first, opening on 190 kilos, going head to head with the current world record holder in the juniors, 233 kilos. She's going to have a deadlift session of a lifetime. Currently half a kilo ahead of Betty Abora. Let's see how this 190 moves, 12.5 kilos below her best. And it's very smooth.
Yeah, I think that's going to set the tone for the rest of this deadlift session, and I think we are in for an epic battle.
And I think the room is split in 2. We have Team Hunter and we have Team Abora.
And despite what I said earlier, there still seems to be more people finding space in this room to come watch.
I think they'll keep coming even when there isn't space. Everybody wants to see how this will end. And here's another piece of the puzzle for you. Betty Abora from the Netherlands, opening on 215 kilos, 18 kilos below her junior world record of 233, which once was the open record, which now stands at 240. And there's the side of Team Betty in the crowd. We want to get our eyes on Betty. This will move quickly. And 3 white lights, a good lift. The game is on.
It is indeed. I cannot wait to see how this turns out. And I think the crowd are super excited as well.
So Betty will get the last say in deadlifts. It's obviously a bigger pull than Hunter, and she likely, if is in a good position, can take the chip. But like I said, currently Hunter, who's lighter, is ahead. But if Betty can make slightly bigger jumps, then it won't matter. We'll have to see how that pans out now as we head into the second round of deadlifts. 165 for Minerva Mañez Garcia, 12.5 kilo jump.
Our Spanish lifter there gaining 3 white lights. I believe she only posted 1 squat and 1 bench earlier in the session, so already doing a little bit more positively on deadlifts here.
Ida Yanez from Slovenia, 165 on the bar, a 10 kilo jump from her opener. Three white lights, a good lift, a solid looking second attempt there, the Slovenian lifter. Elise Idora from the Netherlands, taking a 10 kilo jump to 170 for her second attempt. A little bit of trouble on the way up there.
Yeah, I did think I saw that double movement and all 3 referees agreed.
Hopefully something she can tidy up for the third. She managed to lock it out pretty quickly, but just a bit of turbulence on the way to get there.
And if she does manage to pull it, that will be an equal deadlift PB for our Dutch lifter there.
175 kilos on the bar for Elsa Plandi Marino from Spain. If she gets this, she's in a pretty strong position to keep that silver overall. Sorry, that bronze overall. Still extremely smooth.
Yeah, absolutely. That deadlift's moving well.
Bars loaded for Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic, 180 kilos. 10 kilo jump from her opener. She looks over quickly to the flag being held up for her. So much love and support for all the lifters in this room tonight.
Really good second attempt there for our Dominican lifter. 3 white lights on the board.
Hannah Rush, representing Australia, coming out now for her second attempt, looking to match her personal best of 190 kilos.
And she manages to lock it out and is rewarded with 3 white lights from the referees. I'm wondering how much she can extend that deadlift PB by there.
Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy, 190 kilos, 5 kilo jump from her opener, so got 2-1 on her opener, perhaps feeling a little closer to her top end than anticipated. Yeah, and based off that, it looks like it.
Yeah, it does look like she has reached that top end quite early in the day, but we did find that with her bench press as well, I believe.
Yeah, her first and second bench did not move off the chest, and she found another gear on her third. So we'll see how her third deadlift moves. Veronique Dore from Canada, 190, a 12.5 kilo jump, just half a kilo below her personal best. Wow.
Yeah, 3 white lights there for the Canadian, and holding it at lockout an extra little bit longer for good measure.
Three-second attempts remaining before we go through to that all-exciting final round of deadlifts. Astrid Edvardsson from Sweden, 195 on the bar. Moves on to deadlift silver for the time being, and 4th overall with the 3rd round of deadlifts to come. 2.5 kilos below her deadlift PB and matching her total PB. And that is a good lift, 3 white lights, and on a great trajectory for her 3rd.
As you said, we've only got a couple of lifters left in this 2nd round. We've got both our lifter from the United States and our lifter from the Netherlands.
Yeah, our top 2 contenders here. One of them will walk away junior world champion today, but is it Hunter or is it Abora? Hunter is first up to the board. 200 kilos for a 2nd attempt, a 10 kilo jump. Keeps her ahead of Abora for the time being, with Abora to follow. 2.5 kilos below her deadlift personal best. And it's still moving extremely comfortably for Hunter. 3 white lights, a good lift. How will the Netherlands respond?
Yeah, that was snappy. I think Betty does have her work cut out for her today, but we are still only in the 2nd round of deadlift. Things can change.
Absolutely, and saying that, we haven't seen Betty's 2nd deadlift yet, so let's view that before we make any sort of judgment to how we think it may or may not end. We have Betty Abora now, 227.5 kilos. Betty taking a larger jump here of 12.5 kilos will pull her ahead of Hunter by 2 kilos in total, landing her not so far away of her junior record of 233. The strength is there, but so is the pressure. And so is the speed. That is danger for Team USA. 3 white lights, a good lift.
An excellent lift, and as you said, after the 1st round of deadlifts, the game is on.
And we can see, of course, the deadlift standings as they are right now. Edvardsson in bronze, Hunter in silver, and Abora in gold. But the real battle, of course, is the overall. And it is neck and neck. We told you it would come down to it. You can see Betty currently 2 kilos ahead of Hunter, who is lighter. Betty, of course, will have the advantage of the chip should she choose to go for the world record. And a little sneak peek, she is. We head into our 3rd and final round now. Ida Janez from Slovenia, 170 on the bar. resilience there.
Yeah,
Finishes the lift.
as we said before, these young ladies pulling past their top end to lock it out. Unfortunately, a little bit of downward movement there for the Slovenian lifter.
Elise Edora from the Netherlands.
The bar is loaded.
172.5. Missed 170 on her second. Got blues looking to move up anyway now for a personal best on deadlift.
Unfortunately, just not there today for our Dutch lifter. However, she did work her hardest and the crowd is here to support her.
Minerva Manuez Garcia looking for a 10 kilo jump here to 175. It will give her a 2.5 kilo deadlift personal best on her third and final attempt.
And the bar is loaded.
Extremely well executed. 3 white lights, a good lift. Elsa Prandi Marino now 182.5 kilos. She gets this, I think. Bronze is secure to be too far to catch. Maybe a little at risk if she misses. 7.5 kilo jump from her second.
Unfortunately, just not there today for our Spanish lifter. She did give it a decent effort though.
Yeah, and it would be a push for the Swedish lifter. She would have to up her final attempt by 5 kilos as she's heavier than Prandi Marino, but I haven't seen any Swedish coaches come through, so perhaps leaving the bronze for now. Nicole Marie Coco Troncoso from Dominican Republic, 185 on the bar for a deadlift and total personal best.
Checking the time she has remaining there as she hypes herself up for this big pull.
And there she is, Mrs. Consistent. 3 white lights, a good lift.
And launching herself at her coach with an extreme velocity there. Her coach almost went flying through the wall.
I feel like that is the general mood for Dominicans in the room.
Absolutely.
Giorgia Cucuzza from Italy missed 190 on what seemed a bit like a strength issue to me. Was coming out to retake it here on a third attempt.
At the bar is Roman.
One more try. Can she finish it this time round? No, it's just too much. Plenty she could take away from today, both in wins and lessons. Five lifts remaining, and the anticipation and tension builds and builds in the room as less and less space for standing, for sitting. People are excited to be here, excited to see the result. Hannah Rush from Australia, 197.5, move her into deadlift bronze for the time being, and you can hear the Aussies in the room chanting for her.
The classic chant of Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi.
And she gets it moving once again, but just seems glued and couldn't lock it out. But she is in high spirits. She knows she gave it everything she had.
Absolutely, the Aussie leaving it all out on the platform today.
And we've seen our first attempt change come in there. The excitement begins. Edvardsen changes her attempt, not pushing for the bronze overall, but instead trying to secure a deadlift medal. Currently has deadlift bronze and looking to move herself into deadlift silver, ahead of Hunter currently, who is to follow. She is the heaviest of the lifters who take this weight. Dore to follow. Astrid Edvardsen from Sweden, 200 kilos, looking to move from deadlift bronze into silver for a final pearl of the day. It'll be the very first time she pulls 200 kilos on the platform. Can she do it for a potential deadlift medal at Junior Worlds? And a great finish to the lift for Edvardsen. Canada watching by. The attempt change comes in. Dore heavier than the Swedish lifter, so the attempt change comes in to 202.5 to try and take that medal off of Edvardsen. If Veronique Dore gets this, she secures at the very least the deadlift bronze. Gold, of course, held on to by Bora from the very start. No one was taking that from her hands. You can see the standings as they are right now. Bora with 5'10", Hunter with 5'08". Prandi is staying in bronze overall, but as you can see, it is so tight there at the top. One final deadlift before we get to that battle. Veronique Dore from Canada looking to secure herself a deadlift medal. And the support from the crowd is getting harder and harder to commentate over, so I'll let them speak for me. But it's just too much. Unfortunately, which means Edvardsen will walk away with, at the very least, a deadlift bronze medal. Whether it's bronze or silver, she'll have to wait to see how the next two lifts conclude, and I'm sure she's not the only one that is waiting to see how those lifts will conclude. Natalie Hunter from the United States responds to Abora. But she'll just be able to do what she can here to put herself into pole position, sit and wait to see how Abora responds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it has all come down to. And the bar is loaded. Natalie Hunter, 210 kilos. This will pull her ahead of Betty Abora for the time being into gold place overall, and you can tell she's starting to feel the pressure, but will she rise to it?
As you said earlier, there is very much Team Nat and Team Betty in this room.
Natalie Hunter has called. Will Betty Abora answer? 3 white lights, a good lift. Natalie Hunter pulls into pole position with just one lifter who can respond. It was always going to be Betty Abora pulling last, and here she is for the very last time.
Yeah, Natalie has done what she can, and it all comes down to Betty. The crowd is on their feet and moving as close as they possibly can to the platform.
And
Myself and Amelia up on our seats.
And for the final pull of the day, Natalie Hunter currently in the lead. Betty Abora looking to take her first world title in her last year as a junior. She has loaded the world record. This will beat Hunter by half a kilo. The bar is loaded. Betty Abora of the Netherlands, 236 kilos to extend her own world record deadlift by 3 kilos. 236 for the win. Will it be Betty? Will it be Natalie? You can tell the pressure is getting to her, but will she rise to it? If not now, then when? If not her, then who? The clock ticks down as Betty Abora steps to the plate. And she locks it out. Is it good enough? 3 white lights. Betty Abora is your new junior world champion and a new junior world record. It has all led up to this for her. What an end to a junior career. As you can see in deadlift bronze, Edvardson with 200 kilos in silver, Hunter with 210, and of course with a new junior world record, 236, Betty Abora. But overall, in an incredible fight, we have Prandi Marino in bronze, Hunter from the United States in silver, and half a kilo ahead of Hunter. Betty Abora from the Netherlands is your new junior world champion with 518.5. What an incredible session to be a part of. Ladies and gentlemen, please stick around for the well-earned medal ceremony for these 63 kilo ladies. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you there.
All athletes will be given participation medals by Secretary General Robert Keller and Vice President Nicola Hall. Congratulations, athletes in the squat event. The bronze medal with 172.5 kilos. Dr. Elsa Brandi Merino. Elsa Brandi Merino. Squat silver with 177.5 kilos. Dr. Jackie Labora. Jackie Labora. And the squat gold medal with 200.5 kilos and a new junior world record goes to Natalie Hunter. Congratulations. Thank you. In the main president, the bronze medal with 107.5 kilos goes to Natalie Hunter. The silver medal with 107.5 kilos goes to Astrid Eberson. And the bench press gold with 120 kilos goes to Elsa Brandi Merino. Congratulations. Thank you. In the men's event, in 200 kilos, the bronze medal goes to Astrid Edvardsson. The silver medal in 210 kilos goes to Natalie Hunter. And the deadlift gold with 236 kilos in the new junior deadlift record goes to Becky Abora. Congratulations. Thank you. your 63 kilo junior world champion with 518.5 kilos, Family Abora, Netherlands. Everybody please stand up for the Dutch national anthem. Please stand way on top of the podium for the photo op.
Together.
Thank you very much.